Hello and welcome to another edition of Las Vegas Pitch Presents. This is going to be a fun, energetic episode. We've got Katie Moriarty and we've got Greg Norris at NetWorth Realty and Signature Real Estate Group. So we're going to have so much fun today. We're going to talk about fun topics and we're going to go through them first. We're going to go through the funniest realtor story that you guys have as realtors, because you guys have been doing this a long time. And I'm going to start with you, Greg. What's your funniest story?
Well, there was we had a time a couple years ago, and when you're looking in the NMLS system, it always says vacant or occupied. Set your appointment. It was vacant. Show anytime. No problem. Take my clients in, and we're going through the house, and all of a sudden I hear water running. I'm going, oh man, somebody left something on upstairs. No joke. Go upstairs, turn the corner. They actually went into one bedroom. I went to where I heard the water. And sure enough, I hear the water turn off, and out steps this lady buck naked going, what are you doing here? I'm like, what are you doing here? It says it's vacant.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I guess she had actually come back to the house to do a little fix on something. Got sweaty because it was in the middle of the summer, decided to take a shower, but wasn't expecting anybody to come through the house.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, we didn't have to set an appointment, so I'm like, let's go.
Surprise.
Yeah, needless to say, I was like, oh, how you doing?
I guess being in all those experiences, all the different places, you're always going to run into something funny, right? How about you, Katie?
Tons of surprises every house you go into. So I had an experience with a situation where the house was also vacant, show anytime. It was in a beautiful guard-gated community, so you're rolling up and it's gorgeous. You're thinking you're going to this $800,000 home. It's going to be pristine. And I get the lockbox open on the first try. That never happens. And I pop the lock, and I can't get in the door. It's unlocking, but it's not opening. And I'm like, what the heck? And so I'm shoving it, and I'm like, okay, this is weird. I'm not trying to break the door. So I grab my phone, I shine the little light in the crack, and there's this big leather thing. And I'm like, what the heck is that? And so I did a little investigation, and then I heard something, and I was like, okay, I'm freaked out. So I left. I called the agent. She's out of the country. I had to talk to her assistant. It was a whole mess.
Oh, no.
They had to call the cops. It was a squatter that had pushed a bunch of furniture in front of the front door,
so you
behind
just couldn't
it.
get the door open.
So it was wedged in, so you could not open the door. So it would unlock, but you couldn't open it. So I'm like, oh my God. It turned out to this whole thing. The cops had to come, kick the squatters out. I had to go back the next day. They had to go and clean up everything. It was a joke. It was a total mess.
Well, and you guys are out every single day looking at homes. You guys sometimes kind of are putting your life at risk because you never know what you're going to walk into, right?
Yes.
Yeah. How cautious are you when you do that?
So, I don't know.
I mean, you're a little bit bigger than Katie. You might be able to protect yourself.
Actually, I'll never forget what I was taught in school, which was when you open the door for a client, you always let them go in first. Always let them go in first.
I've been doing it wrong.
Is this a ladies first thing kind of thing? It's client first?
Client first.
Okay.
That way, if anything happens, you got some kind of way out. But it's not to be mean. I mean, it's to be courteous. But yeah. I mean, it's there's some crazy stuff, man. I mean, I've heard issues of agents getting guns pulled on them or walking in the house and there's somebody's got their dog that they didn't pen up.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm just not willing to have that happen.
And you being female, how do you protect yourself?
I get asked this all the time. Yeah. Guys are always like, do you carry? I'm like, no, I don't. I don't.
Yeah.
I come in with a smile. I announce myself. And if anything happens, I figure it out.
You figure it out.
I do that too. I walk in, the first thing I yell is realtor.
Realtor, I yell it twice, super loud.
Realtor.
Oh, yeah.
My clients probably think I'm crazy, but
I've even had one.
I yell it, and then I bang on the door too. I'm not doing a nice knock. I am banging on that door because if there is someone in there, I want to scare you.
Yeah.
And hopefully you get out before I walk in.
Okay, good idea. Well, okay, topic number 2. What were you thinking design, right? What were you thinking? I know that we were talking a little bit about this before we jumped on. Katie, starting with you. You go into these homes and you're like, what in the world is going on here, right?
Okay, well, I would like to give a PSA right here, right now, on this date. Make note, everyone, no more carpet in the bathroom.
Ever.
I don't care what part of the bathroom, you are not doing carpet in your bathrooms. That is completely disgusting. So many things happen in a bathroom. I don't want my carpet to hold on to that forever.
Carpet in general is just
Carpet in general,
out.
gross. But
Yeah.
in the bathroom, and I see it a lot, especially with
Still.
looking through, because we see a lot of
Oh,
distressed properties.
right,
There's a lot of older
right.
homes in Vegas,
Right.
and that was a thing. I don't know why, but it
was
was a
cheap.
trend back then.
Yeah.
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 So I'm not doing that.
So that's it. Okay. How about you?
So my favorite story is one that we were talking about earlier, because I looked at distressed properties too. We also fix and flip sometimes. I've walked into houses where it smelled like there was 3 dead bodies in there. So I'm like, get out. But design-wise, I think my favorite will stand out for the rest of my life was literally, we walk into the bathtub, I walk into the bathroom. I can picture it like it was yesterday. There's a chandelier, like an old glass chandelier above the bathtub. And just to the right of the bathtub on the wall where you could literally sit in the bathtub and touch it was the entire electrical panel for the whole house. Like, this is fantastic. If you don't want to do it that way, just cut the chandelier. This guy's having a fun party.
That's like Final Destination.
Yeah,
vibes,
exactly.
For
Oh my God.
sure.
Exactly.
The laying in the tub with the chandelier. No.
Yeah.
No.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So next one we're going to go to is celebrity stories. And Greg, I'm going to start with you because you got a couple, I think, celebrity stories, correct?
A lot of these have come to fruition from my years in the casino business. So I was a casino executive before I got into real estate, and I still have relationships with most of these guys. Let's go from a fun topic to a sad topic. One of the first times it ever kind of affected me was when Kobe passed away, because I knew Kobe personally, and he was a good guy, good friend, and I knew the guy very well. And that was a hard one. And most of these things, when you see in the news, don't really bother me, but when you know it's actually somebody who you knew, it was a little tough. Now, fast forward to probably my favorite story. About 2 years into the business, I was working at a different brokerage at the time, and the broker's son, I'd known him since he was a little kid. Well, he's working in the brokerage now. I mean, he's a full licensed realtor and everything. And a good friend of mine, Shaquille O'Neal, calls and wants to go see a house for his mom.
Shaquille is a good friend of yours?
I've
Okay.
known Shaquille for
I
about
love
15,
Shaq.
20 years. Probably one of the most down-to-earth guys you'd ever want to meet.
He's awesome.
Great dude, great guy. So I looked, and he's like, Greg, you mind if my son goes with you? Yeah, come on, let's go. So we're driving to the property. He goes, man, you really know this guy? I'm like, dude, I wouldn't tell you I know somebody if I don't. I said, I've known him the better part of 15 years at the time. So he walks in the door, looks over, Greg, he comes over, gives me a big old hug, and you can see the kid's face. He goes, oh my God, you do know this guy. I'm like, yeah, I told you I know the guy.
Yeah.
So he's going through the house, and his mom's going through the house, and then he lets his mom kind of figure out what she wants while him and I start talking. He goes, so how's everything going? I'm like, I'm good, man. How you been? He goes, oh, I'm good. He goes, what's going on with the family? I said, still working on it, just trying to, don't have a kid yet. He literally reaches down and hits me right square in the family jewels. He goes, those things even working anymore, man? I'm like, oh, I'm going to get you now. But that's just the type of relationship I got with it. He's just one of those guys, and I tell people all the time, I work with anybody from the guy that takes your garbage out to CEOs and celebrities. We all just do a different job.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean we're different people. We just wear a different uniform and do a different job. And a lot of these guys, if you get to know them, are just really super down to earth.
Yeah.
One of my favorite stories, and this isn't even real estate related. This was way back when I was in the casino business. It was Bruce Willis. Bruce is one of the most, if you ever watch Die Hard, that's his real everyday personality.
Really?
He's just a great dude. He comes in and he's sitting there one night, and this, like I said, back when I was in the casino business. He calls me over. He goes, hey, Greg. I'm like, what, Bill? Or what, Bruce? And I look at you.
like,
I look at you.
the bald head.
Think of Bill and Die Hard.
Like,
Think of Bill and Die Hard.
Doppelganger for sure.
Yeah.
So he comes over. He goes, and this is why him and I just hit it off. We always like each other. I said, what, Bruce? He goes, man, I'm kind of hungry. I said, Bruce, do I look like an effing waiter to you? And he starts cracking up laughing. He goes, that's why I love you, man, because you're not afraid to just give it back. He goes, where everybody else, hold on, I'll get something. Hold on.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah.
He's like, I love you because you're just real. He goes, you just keep it. And that's, but we had that joking personality.
Yeah.
And when you get to learn these guys, it makes them, I found that they're a little more comfortable working with you because they're like, oh, that's just an everyday guy like me, rather than, hold on, I'll help you. The starstruck thing just doesn't go over well with a lot of these guys. Some people love it. Certain guys that are in Mission Impossible movies, I'm not going to say the name, have a
Wonder who that could be.
have a way of wanting to make sure you know who they are, where other guys are laid back. We had one that came in one time, Will Ferrell. He's a riot, man. He come in when he was shooting the movie Semi-Pro with
Elf's
a full.
my favorite movie.
Oh.
Elf is, yeah.
He comes in when he's shooting Semi-Pro with this full afro going on it the whole time. But as a white guy, and
Yeah.
I mean, he was just cracking people out. Like, dude, this guy is a riot. But I mean, it's getting to know these guys on just an everyday level.
Yeah,
You
they're
know?
normal. Like
No,
you
they're
said,
great people.
They're normal.
Great people.
How about you, Katie?
Oh my gosh. So I would say, as far as just real encounters with a celebrity, I will say Taye Diggs is one of the coolest human beings I've ever met. He was so down to earth. He was so respectful. He was just like a really fun person to talk to.
Mhm.
And yeah, that's probably my best like celebrity encounter story. It had nothing to do with real estate, but it was just a cool encounter that I feel like people, because he's not super famous, so people don't really talk about him that much, but he's just a cool dude.
That's
So
awesome.
thanks for being cool. If you're
Thanks for
listening.
being cool,
Thanks,
Taye.
Taye.
That was good. I
Absolutely.
got one to throw out.
Let's go.
So when I moved into this house, we bought it, and we needed to renovate it, but it was being rented by a world lightweight boxing champion, holds 5 belts. So, and I lived a couple doors down the street, and so we'd walk around, and so I'd call him up and say, hey, rent's due, you ready? He said, oh yeah, no problem, come on down, pick it up, I'll just have it out on the I'll have it for you on the kitchen counter. Okay. So my father-in-law comes in. He just walks in the door, no problem. And there's laid out all cash and a gun on top of the money. Just basically, but it was just normal. That was just, protecting himself, right?
Mhm.
Wait,
Making sure
He
he was
paid you
protecting.
rent in cash?
Yeah, I paid cash. Paid
And a
cash.
gun.
And it was a lot of cash. You've seen, it was a lot of cash.
Was it a
And so-
different gun every time?
So we were like, ooh, I better not mess around with this one. Thank you. And I remember we extended his lease for an extra 3 months because he was boxing for the title. And I was not going to be blamed for him moving and losing the title.
Yeah.
So I was
Yep,
like, yep, no
absolutely.
problem. Stay an extra 3 months.
Mhm.
And so that was fun.
Oh, that's
So-
awesome.
That's awesome.
All right, next up, we got famous Vegas homes. Katie,
Okay.
let's see this one.
I will go first. So Pirates Cove, if you've heard of it, it looks exactly like a pirate ship. And they actually got a lot of their stuff from Treasure Island when they closed down.
Yeah.
So literally I had a opportunity, I'll say, to go into this house, and we just explored the whole grounds and everything. And it was so cool. And you literally felt like you were in the ride.
You're a
Pirates. So they
pirate.
can't, yeah, you really
Yeah.
did. It was
Yeah.
the whole pirate ship and everything. It was so cool.
That's crazy. How about you, Greg?
I think my favorite property, one of my favorite properties in town, is on Las Vegas Country Club. If you ever watched the movie Casino, Lefty
My
Rosenthal,
wife's favorite movie,
which was
actually.
played by
Yeah.
De Niro. The real house is actually on Las Vegas Country Club, and it still has bulletproof glass. In one of the windows coming down the staircase is actually the bullet hole is still there from when they tried an assassination on
Wow.
him. The cool part is, if you ever play that course, the airplane that the FBI broke down and had to land on the course is actually, they moved it into a pond, so it's kind of out of the way for everyone, because, I mean, how are you going to hit a 9-9 shot with a plane in the way? But they moved that plane and put an entire plaque so that people that don't know the story can read it and understand that, yeah, I mean, it's still there. It's a cool setup. It really is. It's a neat house.
That's crazy. My wife actually went to school in San Diego with the daughter.
Okay.
So it was kind of crazy movie. And she was like, well, it was crazy. But with that airplane in the middle of the pond, it's awesome.
Yeah.
So my favorite house, or my famous Vegas home, was going to Liberace's home. And that was
Oh.
unbelievable. And Robert and I went through it together. And it really felt like old Las Vegas. Like you had all the celebrities. They had this upstairs patio that you access through a spiral staircase. And you just know all the shenanigans that were going on up there over the years,
Yeah.
with the smoking and the drinking and the stories. And you just can only imagine. And the bedroom, the bathroom, it was like, it was, yeah, you can. But he had these
course.
pillars, almost like a ode to Liberace.
Right.
And if you were laying down, he had pictures of him on the ceiling. It's unbelievable.
Oh, wow.
So if you have a chance to go to Liberace Mansion, go to Liberace Mansion. I would definitely recommend it.
So could you imagine falling asleep looking at yourself?
Oh my God.
I wouldn't mind that.
It was, I couldn't mind that.
I don't hate that idea.
It was
actually.
pretty crazy. All right,
That'd be
last one. What do we got here? Favorite, we're going a little bit off topic here. Favorite food spot in Las Vegas? Greg, let's start with
I knew you was going to
Breakfast,
put
lunch, and dinner.
breakfast, lunch,
oh,
and dinner.
oh.
Okay, that makes it a little easier.
Okay.
Breakfast has got to be Egg Works or the Egg and I. It's kind of a toss up between them and Blueberry Hill.
Okay.
Okay.
To me, two of the
Never
best.
been to
I've never had a bad meal at either spot. They're both phenomenal, and they'll make kind of whatever you want. They're super cool. Lunch, that's usually always around right before gym time. So probably like Teriyaki Boy, something like that, because it's always right next to the gym, so it's easy. And then dinner.
How about dinner date?
Well, it depends. If I'm going for fun, I'm going to the Hofbrauhaus. I love the Hofbrauhaus. That's just a fun atmosphere. It's just always a big party. And
I have not been there.
oh, we'll
Hofbrauhaus
go.
is
We'll go.
fun.
I know it is.
we'll
I
go.
drive by. I've
We'll
never
go.
been there.
We're gonna do
I
a double
go.
date there. We'll go.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, you'll have a blast. And it's like, so my mom and dad lived in Germany when my father was in the Air Force, and they both said this: it's the most authentic to the real stuff that's over in Germany. Food, layout, huge. I mean, huge ceilings, big party, full band playing. The only thing that they add on that you got to do one time, it is painful, but they have you take a shot of, I think it's tequila or whatever it is, and then you get whacked as hard as possible on the rear end by a wooden,
They got
I don't even know what they call it, like a big wooden paddle.
That's a big
Oh,
paddle.
it lights you up.
And-
spanked?
Oh
and-
yeah, oh yeah,
It is not.
oh, and it's
Like a
they're
frat,
not
like a
friendly.
frat house.
yeah, but I mean it's loud that the whole entire place hears it when it smacks.
Oh.
Yeah, it's
don't
they,
know
it's
they
about
do
that.
not.
Oh, it's fun. You
they
gotta do it once.
not take it easy.
No, they
on
don't. And
it.
it's
It was
always,
like,
it's always a
thinking,
female
okay.
that does it.
Can I just take the shot?
Nope.
No.
Nope.
you might want to take 5 shots before
Yeah, I
you
think
do
I'm gonna
that.
need
If you're
more
gonna
than
do it,
one.
just pad up the back end
Yeah.
before you go out that night, because I'm telling you, and it's always the females that do the spanking, and those girls are
They do
they'll
not
light you up.
lay off.
Now, if I'm going for and I don't go to the strip much. I mean, after working there for over 25 years, I just don't really want to go down there anymore. But if I want to go to a nice dinner, honestly, Trevi's at Caesar's is the Italian food there is phenomenal, and you're out by the statues and the fountains and everything. So the people watching is fantastic. So you get good people watching, and a phenomenal Italian dinner. Believe it or not, that's actually reasonably priced.
Wow.
Even for being on the strip, it's actually almost some of the platters almost less expensive than going to a regular restaurant in town. And it's phenomenal.
That's awesome.
So that's probably my 3 favorites.
All right. How about you, Katie?
Oh my gosh. Okay. Breakfast. I would say like a good classic breakfast if you're on the strip, Peppermill. Like it's
Oh, yeah.
still standing. It's such a cool vibe. I love it there. They wear gowns to take your picture. Like it's just a vibe. For lunch, I really like Earth Cafe. It's at the Wynn. I think they actually have another one in town, but it's got more of like a healthy type vibe food to it. They have really good like juices and stuff. So I like that kind of stuff. For dinner, I would say Herbs and Rye is total classic. They have a really
It
good
is
happy
classic.
hour. They actually have 2 happy hours, an early and a late one. And I think that's cool. So you can get like a really good steak for half off.
Yeah, and the early one goes from like 4 to 7.
Yes,
right?
and then the late
And then the
one
late
is
one-
what, like 9 or 10?
No, I think it's like 12 to 4. 12
Is
a.m.
it 12 to 4? I thought it was earlier. I don't know,
But
but
I'd
it's
rather
great.
sleep at that hour of the
But
night.
anyways,
man. What are you
Herbs and Rye,
talking
but they
about?
do
For
have two
industry
two
people,
happy
it's good.
hours. It's pretty good.
Where's it
Yes.
at?
It's right
It's on, is it Charleston or Sahara?
Sahara, I think. I
It's
think
right
it's
off the
Sahara.
freeway.
Oh,
It's right by
wow.
the freeway.
It's not that
Hold
far
on.
away,
I know
and
which
it
one
is
you're
a
talking
hole in the
about.
wall.
Yeah,
It's a
it's a
small
whole-
little place on
Yes.
Yeah,
on
you-
the south side of
It's like right by a
You
gas
don't think
station.
it's a
Yeah, I know where it's
restaurant.
at. Yeah, I have been there before. That's
Yeah.
really good.
Yeah.
It's really good.
Yeah.
All right.
Do
So,
one more. There you go.
Well, hold on.
oh, what about
bills?
my? Do I get to do my? Yeah.
Oops.
Okay. One more, and I'll
Oh,
go
one
quick.
more topic?
So, no, breakfast is Tableau at the Wynn.
Mhm.
It's an awesome
Yes,
place.
Yep.
Awesome
yes,
place. We go there a lot. Number 2, my lunch, just brand new lunch place, Peter Luger, which is where Brandon from Vegas just took me. It was unbelievable. So I'm going to go that with my favorite lunch. And then I'm going to go with T-Bones at the Red Rock
Oh, nice.
as my favorite dinner place.
Nice.
So those are mine. Next up, we have real estate predictions. And I'm going to go ladies first. What is your prediction for the rest of this year in regards to our values going to go up or down this year?
I
the rest
still
of the
think that we are having a lot of people still move out here from everywhere. So I really still feel like Vegas it keeps going up in value. So it's still a hot market in Vegas.
You heard it. Greg.
I 100% agree with Katie. It's when you're in a transient city like we are, especially in the hospitality industry, where you have people that get transferred here and they get transferred out, the real estate market is always going to turn over. And unlike it was years ago where we're appreciating at 8 to 10%, we're only at like between 5 to 7% now, which is exceptionally sustainable for the next at least 10 plus years. So it's a steady appreciation. And people, like she said, are always, you're always going to have the California exodus because people realize my 3-bedroom home in California that I just sold for $4 million, I can come over here and buy something for $800,000, you know,
And
that's
put money
a lot
in the
bigger.
bank.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And
Buy
so,
3 of those and
yeah.
make money off.
Exactly.
and I mean, you know, when you see stuff like going on with like Mark Wahlberg wanting to bring a Hollywood studio over here, and those ideas, Google's over here now.
The train.
The light rail, yeah. So all those things to me is just going to continue to increase the value of the properties here. But I'm going to throw it over to you. Everybody's saying that the rates are going to start dropping probably in July. Is that what you're seeing? I mean, we're the house people here. Me and her are the house people. You're the money guy. So, you know, what are you seeing on your end?
I think what's happened with the money is people have gotten used to the rates. I think they're like, I got to make a decision. I'm not going to stay in this little house. I need to grow. My family's bigger, or I want to retire. I want to go smaller. And I think that people have just gotten used to the rates, and they're just starting to make those life decisions that are going to happen. And you know, rates, in my opinion, are going to just creep down slowly. I don't think we're going to have this steep drop.
Right.
And I think next year we'll see rates in the mid to low 6s.
Mm-hmm.
And if they go below that, I'd be super happy. But I think sustainability in terms of values, if they drop too far, I think we'll go like this.
Yeah.
But I think this gradual decline will have that 5 to 7% appreciation. And I agree. I'm so like bullish. Robert and I know Vegas is growing. It's coming. There's so many great things about it. The economy's diversified. I saw something about lithium being a big new industry in Nevada.
Oh my goodness.
And we've got the spaceport going in Pahrump. You've got, I mean, it's unbelievable in addition to the sports teams and all that. So awesome, awesome place. Come join us in Vegas, right?
Absolutely.
So anyways, that was a lot of fun.
Yes.
We'll have to do it again. Till
Thank
next
you.
time,
Thank you.
this is Gaylord signing out. Welcome. Bye.
Bye.